So the reason I've chosen this case study is due to the similarity that my situation could possibly be if I were to lose my husband now. And the case involves a 48-year-old recently widowed woman named Peggy Bree. Her recent loss is also being exacerbated by the financial loss of 2/3 of the family's annual income. The current home mortgage payment and other debts now cannot be maintained with her income alone, considering that she wants to keep the home until she retires. Her options are actually limited in ways for which she is to achieve her goals. Sorry. Here are the details of the case study. There's just shy of $240,000 in savings, mostly from life insurance. 5 investment stocks worth $18,000, and her late husband's IRA worth $110,000. Going against her assets are monthly expenses, including $232,300 monthly home mortgage payment on 2 mortgages with a balance totaling $163,000, $4,720 on her late husband's auto lease, which is a $330 a month payment, and $21,000 in outstanding credit card debt. So knowing the client is paramount to the financial counselor's success. In other words, is she driven by family values, social expectations? Was she worried about money before her loss? Other factors also lie upon her, her spending habits. Is she a saver or is she a spender? It's important for the financial advisor to establish potential ways for which a client can achieve their financial goals. The client may have an idea of how to achieve what she has as a goal, or she may simply have no experience with finances other than spending. Thus, no goal may be set or plan to get there. As the numbers currently stand, the widow Bree's budget would run into the red immediately. Therefore, by establishing some of the main goals and potential sticking points, a financial counselor can begin to break down the options available. The counselor will also have to pay close attention to her verbal and nonverbal cues as to how fast is she able to understand the information the counselor is about to provide. Additionally, the counselor may also have to be able to become teacher, educating her while he explains each available option. By starting out with some of the easier decisions, the counselor may be able to provide the client with the confidence required before tackling some of the more technical and complicated issues. An examination of the lease agreement may establish if there were some stipulated terms or if the lease was co-signed by the widow Bree for the car. These types of scenarios are commonly in the contract language for auto leases. Terminating the lease agreement may be too costly based upon the condition and mileage of the vehicle, so they may need to explore a lease buyout agreement, which might actually save the estate money in settling the account while as to allow the estate to keep the vehicle. Without the specifics of the actual lease agreement, the ability to provide further counsel with this scenario would simply be speculation. Due to the death of the owner of the IRA, they'll need to be transferred into someone else's name, whoever is listed as a beneficiary on the IRA itself. One of the options would be to roll the IRA into a beneficiary IRA. Therefore, she will take full possession of the IRA without immediate tax issues. She simply would need to have an annual disbursement set up for the beneficiary IRA as part of that plan, which she would roll the disbursement into another IRA if so choosing. Or another option would be to simply establish a new IRA, whether traditional or Roth, and simply roll the money from the existing account to a newly established account in its entirety. Both of these options will help establish a financial backbone to her retirement planning outside her workplace retirement plans. The financial counselor will simply need to find the potential plan that she is most comfortable with due to both her experience with IRAs and her desire to keep those funds invested for later use. As for the 5 stocks for which she would like to get rid of, she could be counseled to sell them off in order to create capital for immediate use, or sell them in portions of each year until they're completely sold off, and rolling the monies into her retirement investments. Up to $5,500 can be claimed on income taxes annually. The financial counselor can actually take a few other routes for the advice of these stocks, but ultimately how they fit into the budget in order to allow the widow to keep her home may take precedence in the conversation. When considering the credit card debt, the financial counselor should just strongly urge her to pay off those debts as soon as possible, which would imply now, since she has the funds in the savings to do so. And then he or she also can then provide her with further assistance on how to prevent from building up the similar credit card debt in the future. This is also the same time a conversation should take place about establishing a retirement plan on a broader spectrum, so she can see the benefits of saving over the benefits of spending, and funding college for her children, which may be discussed at the time to establish her current educational desires for them. Her healthcare insurance seems appropriate on the surface and may not need adjustments, and the financial counselor may be inclined to encourage her to review her life insurance and her disability insurance, so as to give her comfort that she won't burden her children in the event of her own untimely passing. And lastly, we need to deal with the 2 home mortgages. One option could be to simply pay off the mortgage with the higher interest rate first, and review the payment on the other mortgage to see if it's manageable, thus allowing her to protect the monies and savings for the birth of an emergency fund, meanwhile reducing the overall obligation mortgage monies owed both monthly and in total. Option 2 would be to look into the mortgage refinance with a payoff of in 15 years, more near her retirement. From there, to establish how much she would need to pay off now to achieve an affordable monthly mortgage payment as part of the refinance. Or a third option would be to simply utilize the money she has in savings and just completely pay off the mortgages and be done with it, and then pay herself a monthly payment to put in an emergency fund. Finding the mortgage plan that's going to be best for her is the ultimate goal, and utilizing the communication skills to make her comfortable is what we need to focus on. So in the future, her happiness may or may not rest with her residential location, but her financial stability, and the financial counselor will need to find the balance between her financial needs and her immediate emotional needs, and allow her to draw her financial conclusions that best fit her ultimate goal. So that concludes my case study. My name is Bethany Floyd-Jenks, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.